Hi, welcome to the Ultimate PSS Education Series. I'm Mal from the Money Study, and this is another episode in the series to help you understand your PSS just that little bit better. This is number 11. How can I improve my benefit? This is not going to be a very long session because there's really not a lot you can do. But anyway, let's go through the scenarios. But before we do, let's kick it off with the disclaimer. Everything we talk about in these sessions are facts and figures. It's information. It is not advice. So this is a one-slide presentation because honestly, to improve your benefit, there's limited things that we can indeed do. And most of them aren't very palatable. First one, to make our PSS bigger, we can work longer, which is usually, not a very keen thing for people to do. But there's no doubt about it. Every year that you work, this thing is just going to get bigger and bigger because we are contributing every fortnight and our multiple grows every fortnight. So every extra fortnight you are basically contributing, your PSS is indeed getting bigger and bigger. Now, of course, your salary, of course, that doesn't get recorded until your birthday. And so the ideal thing is that if you're going to retire, you always retire on or after your birthday. You never go before a birthday, because if we want to maximise our scheme, what we're trying to do is either get our FAS as big as we possibly can or get our ABM as big as possibly can, or ideally both. So if we can increase our salary by getting perhaps another pay rise throughout the year, wait until your birthday to get that increase. That will certainly give you a better benefit there. Of course, with these contributions to get our ABM, there's really not a lot more you can do, because if you're already doing the maximum of 10%, you can't add lumps of money. You can't basically do more than 10%. You're limited at the 10% of your salary. So we can't make our ABM grow any faster. Salary sacrifice doesn't help our PSS. I've got a session coming up on salary sacrifice. Salary sacrificing into another fund will grow your overall superannuation benefit, but not your PSS. Part-time versus full-time is one of those things that, look, yes, no doubt about it, working full-time all of your life, you're going to get a benefit than someone who's been part-time all their life. But it also does come down to quality of life. It's not always about the money. It is a case of, what is enough. And of course, in fact, a few years of part-time at the end, because it doesn't affect the full-time salary, it only affects the multiples getting prorated. The impact of part-time for a few years at the end is not really a big deal from that point of view. Obviously, if you're trying to maximise it down to the dollar, you remain full-time as long as you possibly can. So this part-time business it just comes down to really, what do you want to do? And of course, if they only find out you're part-time on your birthday, always remember to go part-time after your birthday, because they won't even find out you're part-time until the next birthday. Hence, you can actually get a full year at the full-time rate, even though you're actually part-time. So there's just a few things there. There is a session coming up on a bit more information on part-time. But generally speaking, not a lot of difference in those last few years. And there's also a good aspect of going part-time in the regard that you are already learning to live on less money. Therefore, in theory, you don't need as much money in your PSS to retire, because you've already proven that you can live on a reduced income. Because if you go part-time and find out you can't do it, your bills are racking up and your credit card's going through the roof, then you've all sort of proven to yourself that no, you can't live on this reduced income, in which case you'd have to go back to full income and work a few more years to get your benefit up to that point. Obviously, as far as the salary is concerned, you may not have a lot of control over that. But ideally, if we can get a pay rise, remembering we don't need to get a pay rise now. Obviously, if you get a pay rise now, you're getting paid more straight away. But as far as the PSS is concerned, because they only take the average of the last 3, it is a case that we really just need to get that increase, within that, before that 3-year period starts to hit. Now, if you did get a pay rise in the last year, Yep, that'll drag up your average. Wouldn't be as nice as being on that higher income for 3 years. But yes, even if you've got a pay rise in the last year, getting promoted a month before your birthday, it would be nice so that you've retired with a slightly higher super salary. Unfortunately, overtime doesn't help here, so you can't just go off and just do extra hours and so forth to grow your PSS. That just doesn't work. So really, what does it come down to? Work longer, do the maximum contributions, and effectively get the biggest salary you possibly can. So, as I say, not a lot we can do, but obviously if you just tweak those little things, yep, your benefits should indeed look pretty reasonable. We'll talk about a few more of these things in a bit more detail coming up in future sessions.